All right, here we go. It is time for map 1 between TYLOO and God's Reign this evening. It's going to be Inferno. God's Reign, well, they've got a lot of work to do. They're at the bottom of the standings for this season of ESL Challenger League. And TYLOO, who knows really what's going on there? Oh my word, Cammy.
That is a lineup crosshair. That is a coach crosshair if I've ever seen, with the little bind that tells you exactly where to throw your grenades. I haven't seen that iteration of it. I think that must be a CS2 edition. Regardless though, no contact here. And TYLOO looks like they're going to walk into the bracket stack here, Jordan.
Yeah, fired up, ready with the P2K. It's got a bit of backup. There's 4 players over there, so this could go very well for God's Reign. And as we know, they can shoot straight. We've seen that before. Nice couple of shots, though, from Mosey. And they will actually be able to get into that site and potentially plant that bomb. Finn's made a couple of footsteps, so he'll be swung. Info's given over. Not a bad start for TYLOO. And they're going to try to take that 2v1 against Finn. Mosey is not afraid of anybody at this point. He is just holding that W key. ZDR trying his best to survive on the side against the dualies, but when all said and done, TYLOO in the 2-on-1, and R2B2 can't get it done. It was a great start, but TYLOO were able to recover.
Yeah, I mean, these are the kind of rounds that you really have to win as God's Reign when you're an underdog in a matchup like that. You had the right call, 4-player stack over on brackets, and you weren't able to convert the pistols, so big missed opportunity there for God's Reign. They'll have to take the single eco here, and TYLOO, good start for them. T-side Inferno. Light Up's going to buy himself a Zeus, but really nothing invested here for God's Reign. They want to really save quite heavily for round number 3 if they can. So we'll see if they can steal a gun or 2 away here, try and do some damage. And as I mentioned before, it even kind of amplifies the fact that that pistol is a missed opportunity, because my way that I remember God's Reign is a team that really struggles on the T side. So missing something like CT side pistol and getting yourself rolling early is a bit of a nightmare situation, I think.
Yep. Jam Youngest going to be setting Mosey up for those duels. Little pop flash to allow him to start working his way in toward B. But there again, you know, another nice example of God's Reign. Their aim is certainly on point. Another nice little bink there with that USP. Jam Young deciding to take the AK out of Mosey's hands and do the dirty work himself, and R2B2 has been spotted out as well. But, you know, I definitely think there's some talent in this God's Reign team, but sometimes it just doesn't quite come together the way that it needs to.
Mosey is already looking like a welcome sight back on the TYLOO roster. I think a lot of people were kind of questioning why he was even taken out in the first place. Last 2 players here for God's Reign. AFK and Apps, waiting for someone to push over on this side of the map. Which is, you know, these are the kind of things that I watch from God's Reign, where it's like, you know, even this round, it's like, who's going to come into Apps, boys? We've lost our entire B site.
Terrorists win.
Ooh, he got one. They're hunting quite heavily.
Yeah, he's not going to get away with it. And that's fair enough. So this is where things start to get a little bit more interesting. God's Reign getting the weapons in hand. Although, maybe I spoke too soon, as we're going to have
See ya, Cammy.
a disconnection.
Haven't seen him in the server much, and we won't be seeing him in the server
he's
right
just
now.
Decided I don't want anything about this anymore. I'm ready to go
Joined
back
the
to
coach. Joined back into the coach slot by accident.
Yeah, yep.
If I remember, the God's Reign team had a pretty decent AWPer last time I watched them. I think it was fired up.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna have the money for it this round. But yeah, just waiting now for the reconnect from Cammy. We could talk a little bit more about the, you know, changes to Lin Vision if you want, because
Sure.
And for anyone who doesn't understand why that's important, you know, obviously the Chinese domestic scene, seeing one player move from a team is going to affect the other teams quite heavily usually. And we're seeing a lot of movement as well from the tier 2 scene or even tier 3 scene of the Chinese teams into, you know, quote unquote tier 1 teams. especially
Well,
looking at what Rare Adam's putting together at the moment.
yeah, I mean, but what's especially interesting about that to me is that Flying is a rifler, is he not? I'm
He is,
pretty
yeah,
sure. So would it
I
be
agree.
Zaka that would then go back to AWPing, I assume?
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, who can you get that's an AWPer in China? There just isn't an option. So they've uh, said, well, we just won't have one. We'll move someone else into that role and try to reinvent the team that way and add a solid rifler, which is what you get sometimes in these domestic scenes where you just don't have an option. Either way, Cammy's back. We've round roll backed. So we'll get into the first gun round here. It's 10 players in the server. Ignore the HUD boys. Early molly towards top of banana. It's a light contest for God's Reign. They really don't have very much util to contest this map control. They're holding a lot of it for the early to mid round, choosing to give up banana because they don't have the util to hold it. Fired Up's kind of on his lonesome towards port side here. Finn's backing him up a little bit.
Yeah, Barbie, I don't know if he's actually spotted Mosey on the cross here, so it's going to end up being R2B2 that'll go down for free. And Barbie as well, so just some unfortunate timing. I don't know if maybe he just got missed on a jiggle.
It's just contact play, really, from Mosey. I mean, they didn't really have much util in a round like this, and Mosey's just able to contact straight into the site. That's the kind of confidence that you can play with as a team of TYLOO's caliber versus a team like God's Reign. And I think at the end of the day, like, it's a very strong style that people aren't ready for when you just kind of dry walking into the site and teams are playing with reactive util. You can punish them quite heavily, and that's the perfect example of it.
Yeah, it's going to go from bad to worse for God's Reign as well because they're going to start to dwindle away on the weapons. TYLOO hunting this one pretty hard. They'll dislodge Finn, and Cyclone's been spotted as well. So they literally lost every single gun. Didn't even have a chance in the round. TYLOO up 3-0. And we're getting a bit of a taste of where this matchup might be headed.
Well, it is an eco there for God's Reign, so not too much brought into the round. I don't think that the economic damage is going to trouble TYLOO too much because they've had quite a good start to this game of Inferno. But I think more so the important thing is on a map like Inferno, the half buys with the pistol armor and light util is something that can work if you know how to use it well. See a lot of teams timing other T sides out of the round by using their smoke timings back in the old meta. Obviously, that's a bit of a relic of the past. See a lot less lately. But we'll see what God's Reign is going to put together. I've seen some cheeky kind of nana rushes as well.
Yeah, we'll get a bit of an idea, I guess, as the match rolls on, but can't really draw too many conclusions from just that one gun round, though. Initial impressions aren't looking too good. It's going to be another save here for God's Reign. We've got an interesting collection of purchases from God's Reign. I mean, you got the Molly, 5.7 flash. You got the smoke, 5.7 armor. Just spending a little bit of money here and there. See what they're going to get up to with that. I mean, surely you don't just buy a Molly here and not have something ready to go with it, if that makes sense. So, I do wonder what God's Reign is going to sort of, what they're intending to do.
So just in a pause here. As God's Reign are down a player. Big connection issues in Asia for anyone who's not familiar. This is a common issue. Infrastructure problems, VPNs, different regions playing each other. I mean, South Asia versus China or Southeast Asia versus China is definitely a fun one. Someone cops the old 60 to 80 ping. It's a good time.
Yep. Yep, you're always going to have some issues. Yeah, well, standard day at the office, really. Mercury, the Kidia player to watch. Unfortunately, not really the player to watch at the moment. It's actually kind of been Mosey. I feel like he's been getting a lot of work done in this sort of entry role that TYLOO put him in.
Counter-terrorists win.
And guess we'll be resetting that round as well. So this will take a little bit of a while to work through. And I'm told that we are going to be changing the server. So right down to exactly what you were talking about, Pilski, where there are always these sort of little issues. I remember infamously it used to always be the Mongolian and Korean teams that had issues whenever they would play against one another. They would just never work. But maybe it's India and China now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll take a little while to get the server going and swap on everybody over. So look, let's take a short little break while they sort out all the technical difficulties, and we'll be right back with the match as soon as it's ready.
Alrighty, welcome back on in. Thank you for the patience. And God's Reign have actually changed up their buy a little bit since we last saw it. Seems that they are going to be investing a little bit in this round, down to 1.1k for Cyclone. So I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that, but we'll see how it works out. He's going to get aggressive with a pop flash into Banana. Mosey seems pretty prepared for that possibility. And he's locking down Banana on his own. TYLOO are going to make their way into B.
Okay. So this is a pretty high percentage play against the half buy. Jungle wrap smokes into 8. TYLOO playing with a fair bit of structure despite playing with some stand-in situations. Good pick from Kami there. And they get it to the side pretty easily. I mean, this is pretty standard stuff for the T side of Inferno. Follow-up smoke to Moto. Really, really good stuff against the pistols here from TYLOO. Just really not giving God's Reign any opportunities.
And now you're kind of in that awkward spot for God's Reign where it's like, well, just going to have to save again. Not really saving much. They are going to look to buy next round. try and get away with maybe an AK or two here. That'll perhaps be the goal for God's Reign. A little bit of a messy spray in the end for Mercury, but he did kind of get the job done. Jam Young will ensure that none of those AKs are going to be retrievable, or perhaps I've spoken too soon. It'll be ZDR's job in the end, though. God's Reign get away with nothing. And yeah, it was expensive for TYLOO, but they're on the T side and they've got a lot of money.
Another gun round here for God's Reign. Let's see what they're going to be able to put together. They got the AWP in fired up stance, and that's something that I mentioned before. I remember he was pretty good against ATOX. He's going to miss the opening shot. Good flash coverage there for TYLOO, and they're just going to book it straight up middle. Straight into the jungle line, fired up. Not really able to connect any of those 3 shots, and flashed off of the line. It's a quick jungle split straight into the A side. Finn just getting destroyed, but Flash is getting laid in very well. Cyclone finally traded out, and they crunch Finn on the site, so God's Reign unable to hold that quick A split. AWP shots definitely needed to be hit. I don't know if the server's playing a bit of a factor in that, because that's a bit of a different performance from Fired Up than I saw from him on the AWP last time we saw him play.
Yeah, but also, you know, first round where he's had the AWP takes a little while, maybe sometimes to get the feel.
It was pretty impressive as well.
Yeah, it's on point at the moment for TYLOO. Everything working quite nicely. Not to mention the fact that Mosey 8-0, kind of just battering his way into bomb sites at the moment.
Cabby's not looking too bad either, you know.
Yeah.
He's doing fine. He's throwing the util. He's getting a couple kills.
Trying out, see what he can get done. 5-0 for TYLOO at the moment. Another half investment from God's Reign. Loss bonus has maxed out at 3.4k, so they're going to continue to be sort of hovering around about 5k every round from here on out, assuming they keep their money in a position such as this. But I don't know if it really fills me with a whole lot of confidence when I see things like that. And how sort of easily ZDR is able to sort of sweep that aside. Oh, every single one of these rounds has looked so confident from TYLOO. And off we go into that B bomb site. Mercury for another one, leading the entry pack straight through that smoke. Finn actually going to find a timing onto Jam Young, but can't imagine that's going to amount to too much more, as Mercury will just crack his head off, and Barbie's the last alive. Another clean one from TYLOO. 6-0 now.
Another gun round here. Another chance for Fired Up to get into the game a bit more. But look, there really just hasn't been too much on display today for God's Reign, unfortunately. Looks playing pretty good. It's the 3 towards banana setup. Looked like the AWP was going to try to take contact there, but pushed off the line by double mollies. A lot of util. ZDR shut out of Carps here. Nice nade onto him as well in towards second mid there. TYLOO preparing themselves for a B execute. Just trading down a bit of util with the CT side. They are running into 3 players here.
There's another one for Mosey. Through the flash as well, he gets that. 9-0. When does it all come to an end? So far, so good, as Cammy's able to find himself another one. And honestly, there doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of resistance on the Behold until Fired Up does start to get involved with the AWP, but just not expecting Mosey. A bit of an off angle from him, and Mosey's not making any mistakes right now, hitting everything. Speaking of which, another one slid through. 11-0. A real return to form for Mosey, who has certainly not been in and around this TYLOO outfit very much of late, but he was always on the bench, and it's a reason why I guess they didn't get rid of him, because this is looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was expecting from Mosey. My only question was whether he'd been very active, whether he was still in form, and seems like he has been. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, put him back on the team. Don't know why he was taken off in the first place, really. Quite happy with TYLOO when they had the core of Mercury, Jam Young, and Mosey. It was quite promising. High from the majority of God's Reign here, and actually picking up the pace into Bananas worked a treat. Bombs dropped. This is the most winnable round so far for them.
It's not really going to be salvageable, perhaps, for God's Reign, even though they have that 5-on-3. Brought back. The bomb's out in kind of no man's land. It's going to be a bit of an effort for TYLOO to cover. They are having to work hard in order to get that. But they will eventually, and if they continue on their merry way in toward that B bomb site, then it's going to end up being another pretty straightforward round for them. ZDR will get the info that they need, and also gets himself a kill. So good start here for TYLOO. They are going to run straight into Finn. Smoke down. Information given, and Mercury, oh, he's going to go hunting for the frag. This is a ballsy play. He's backing himself, and he should not have. Finn was still watching, and finally, God's Reign have a round.
Got a lot of work done in Banana there, but look, let's be real. The way that this game is going, they're going to need more than a good timing on Banana in one round to make a CT half of this. They really kind of need at least 4 or 5. So, got to win out the majority here against a team side that never runs out of money. Not an easy thing to be doing. Especially when Moses on the entry on Banana here. Wasting not much time. Going to respect the molly for now.
Oh, Flash is a good one. Catches R2, B2. However, Barbie is there to trade. So Mercury's Dream Run has started to slow down a little bit. There was no doubt that it was not going to be maintained over the course of an entire match, but 13-2 still a pretty good scoreline. And now ZDR's kind of started to pick up the slack a little bit. He's finding quite a lot of impact in these more recent rounds.
Man advantage for TYLOO. Contact approach has worked very well in towards Banana. Smoke's going to be dropped here, but they have an HE to put it out if they want to go through. No need to really brush things though here for TYLOO. Just lining up the high percentage pieces of utility. This is going to allow Finn to get on over to the site, but they're still only execing into 2 players without util. Still a pretty favorable scenario.
Fired Up is on his way as well, but Smoke down in CT is going to mean he's ineffective. A little bit of team damage there, maybe into the back of the head of Jam Young, who's going to go straight through the smoke, and Fired Up was not prepared for that at all. Goodness me. 8-1 for TYLOO. And I was just thinking, you know, if you would watch that round, you know, 5 years ago, be like, oh, there's that Chinese aggression. As Jam Young runs through the smoke. Classic. Don't often normally get that kind of stuff from them, but I think they're starting to maybe disrespect this matchup a little bit.
I mean, to be honest, you know, TYLOO is kind of looking like, you know, the old Beachy Gaming with the Advent lineup, the way they're playing right now. A lot of just good util, good timings. They're just playing things by the numbers and, you know, playing quite well. And this is why Vici, their old Vici lineup was like one that, you know, couldn't really beat as an underdog. Like, that's a perfect example of it. Look at that util set. Molly to main, perfect pop flash over the top, and they just, the spacing is very nice from the riflers of TYLOO there. Working the map very well right now. Playing with great structure, despite the stand-in scenario. And people are looking really switched on. Like, I think Mosey, this is a great game to be bringing him into because it's a good game for him to kind of farm up some stats and a bit of confidence, but also like he's been on the bench. This is his chance to kind of show everyone or tell the boys like I still got it. I can come back anytime.
Well, I think there's very much quite a cohort of people that might be keen to see that happen. Again, not sure exactly what the sentiment is within TYLOO itself, or even within Mosey, whether or not he was, you know, on the bench as a result of his own choices. It seems that maybe that was the case. I had heard that he wanted to focus on his studies.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that would make.
I don't know that
sense.
that's true though. I have no idea. But
I'm kind of convinced that like maybe the TYLOO owner just likes to look at his like roster of bench players at this point. Like the amount of they just love collecting players on the bench. TYLOO.
It's a weird flex, isn't it?
It like maybe he likes it. He like gets together with the other Chinese org owners and he's like, bro, my bench roster could beat your main roster, bro. Like
It's probably not wrong.
I could sell you a player that could change your life. I mean, there was a point where that was true, to be honest. That like Freeman score on the bench, like all of these players, some of the at the times the best players in FIFA. That's a bit more like it. Opening pick for God's Reign. These are the opportunities they must convert. Full banana control and opening pick on the AWP. Rotation to 8. Oh, that should have been a freebie for Barbie, and that's the worst pick to lose at this point in the round.
Well, Fired Up's going to get pushed off of the dig line by the molly. Couple of little bits of chip damage onto Mercury, but TYLOO are successful in taking control of brackets, and they're going to push the issue even further. Smoke in toward Moto, in toward Library. That'll push Finn back, and slowly but surely TYLOO are strangling their way into this A-bomb site. God's Reign still not too sure about where the hit is going to come, but they're making an educated guess that it might not be the B site. R2B2 left there solo, Fired Up, pushes his way in onto brackets alone and makes it work, gets the double. He's helped out by Cyclone, and it just capitulates for TYLOO.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a chance that they could bring that round back around, but they were a bit stubborn. I think that, and this is the kind of thing, when you play against some of these underdog teams that don't do what the top teams do, you can kind of play yourself a bit. I think that round's a perfect example. They saw the player bottom banana pushed all the way. They pick him. They assume God's Reign is going to go panic rotate if they throw a bit of util towards the B side of the map. But God's Reign, they just stayed on A, you know? They never moved. They did not rotate. They had one player kind of half commit to the rotate and just stacked A. I don't think TYLOO was ready for that. Alright, Cammy.
Okay, well, 1 for 1. Sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't.
I mean, 1 for 1 on T side, you'll take that. Early on in the round, drop a whole util set from the CTs. Barbie as well. Come up with goods here, and unfortunately he's sandbagging a bit. Figuratively and literally. Jamyon going to trade that one, and that's the B side open for business.
As has been the case many, many a time. Couple of half-hearted attempts through the smoke there from Fired Up, but nothing quite going to land.
Trying to attempt the retake from construction side here. Fair bit of util, refresh on the main smoke, going to make their lives difficult though, Jordan.
It's not going to work out for Cyclone, and you can imagine it's probably not going to work out for Fired Up here either. Deagle will be good for 1, but his time is gone, and that is 10-2 at the half. Very dominant from TYLOO. 10-2, the scoreline at the halftime break, and TYLOO haven't really shown a whole lot of signs that they're going to slow down throughout that first half. They had 1 or 2 rounds that didn't quite go to plan, but I mean the score speaks for itself. You see Mosey at 17-4, that says enough as well. And God's Reign coming into the second half 4v5, also something that they're going to have to figure out, though I imagine that'll get sorted pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean it's kind of gone to plan, has it not?
Yeah, and I think TYLOO looking probably even better than expected on that T side, really. Like, all their util was well placed. They were playing with good structure, playing things by the numbers. They were looking sharp. Had a lot of different approaches. Had that good contact round to start things off, kind of conditioned God's Reign early on, and then some really nice execs in the later stages of the half. Honestly, TYLOO not even looking like they're playing with a substitute right now.
No, yeah, Cammy's fitting in nicely. And we're getting some good performances from the usual suspects. Actually, again, interestingly, we sort of highlighted Mercury as our Kadir player to watch, and he's kind of been the one that's been a little bit on the outer in terms of the individual impact, I suppose, is probably one good way of putting it. But it's not as if he's necessarily had a bad game either, and really does kind of feel like a matter of time before this, at least this first map gets wrapped up, and I'd even start to question whether or not God's Reign are going to be able to do a whole lot on the second map either, but that's a conversation for, well, a little bit later on.
I think, I don't know, if it could also be a server thing, like this could be the game on Hong Kong or whatever, and then we go on to SG next, who knows?
That's true.
That could be a different thing. Mid here for God's Reign off the back of the decoy. CDR's plucking them as they come through. Really nice straight from R2, B2, and Mercury hits nothing. Okay, they're playing to watch, or maybe not watch. Cammy though, dear God, get him out of the coach slot.
Who's this guy? Where did that come from?
Straight out of Coach Town, mate. He's saying, leading by example. He's saying, this is how you go. This is how you play, boys. All right, this is how you play with the USP on Arch side. And look, I don't know about TYLOO, but at least me in the coach slot, like, where sometimes you're running drills against the boys, and you're playing against the players that you're coaching, and you're going like, get me in the server. Like, I'm actually holding the site right now. I don't know if that's the case for Cammy, but yeah, he's looking kind of sharp. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, he is. I mean, that was some nice USP work.
Honestly, if you took the nameplates off, I would have said that Mercury was Cammy, and Cammy was Mercury that round.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if God's Reign can present any kind of shenanigans in this one. It's a pretty straightforward setup from TYLOO. Just got Cammy sitting in the cutout there, waiting to see if there's going to be any push, playing anti-flash. Mercury gets the info, gets the flash across, and so Cammy's more than happy to wrap up a couple of kills there. Finn on his way out. And TYLOO are, again, in that maximum disrespect mode where Jamyoung is just looking for players to take a fight to. Spotted the last member out. Finn will be dealt with in short time by Cammy. 12-2. I don't think we're seeing too much more of this map.
Literally straight down mid, anti-eco.
Yeah.
So look, we've had a lot of tech issues for God's Reign this game, and I usually wouldn't say this on other broadcasts that are not Asia, but when it comes to Asia, boys and girls, we can give God's Reign the benefit of the doubt on the map, and if they come out next map and start looking really sharp, I think we all know what happens on this game of Inferno.
Yeah.
These are the kills you can't be missing. That's Finn. Mosey's had his toes tickled and he's lived to tell the tale.
Yeah, Barbie just getting finished off.
What? Call him Barbie, mate.
He is. He's been turned into a Barbie. Cyclone's going to go through that one, and it'll work out for him until it doesn't. 2 kills to the incendiaries in this round for TYLOO. Doesn't get much easier than that. There's Mercury for another one, and Camille finished the last off with a nice little push out from Apartments. 13-2. It's a dominant display from TYLOO, really, and what more is there to say about it? Honestly, we kind of highlighted a lot of that in the pre-match, and I don't think we've been particularly surprised with how things have played out there. There was a couple of okay moments. I thought, again, you know, fired up when he had that op in his hand, and he was on that B site. You know, you saw a couple of nice shots from him, but it didn't really amount to a whole lot for God's Reign, and that's kind of been the tale of this season for them.
Yeah, I mean, this would be the best opportunity for you to try to put a dub on the board. Unfortunately, it seemed like they were plagued by tech issues almost that entire game. And also, TYLOO was not playing around. You know, I'm starting to do some mental gymnastics in my head and think, look, why was Cammy standing behind the boys this whole time and Advent was in the server? Maybe we should have chucked it the other way around, the way that he was playing. He was, you know, doing pretty well for himself, looking kind of sharp, especially that CT pistol. That was a pretty nice round from him.
All right, let's take a look at the Kadia player to watch, of course, which was Mercury. And we might have been a little bit incorrect with this selection. Not that it was, you know, incorrect's maybe a strong word, but
I
he wasn't the player to watch, unfortunately.
I genuinely don't even think he was really, like, invested in that game. I don't think I've ever seen Mercury like care. I don't think I've ever seen Mercury not care that someone's peeking him that much before. Like that last kill to end the game on jungle side, like the T just peeks into him and he just unloads 20 bullets and he's like, I guess if you don't kill me, I'm gonna kill you. You know, by the 18th bullet at least. But you know, it was one of those days for Mercury. He said, yeah, all good. I'll just hop in the backpack and take this 13-2.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, you know? Like, if the boys are firing up, I'm happy. We're going to get the dub. And maybe he'll fire up here for the next map, which obviously we'll get into that discussion when we come back from the break. But don't know if I have a huge amount of faith in God's Reign making this one particularly close either. But we'll find out. It's time for us to take that break. It'll be about 14 minutes or so. Then we'll be back with map 2 between TYLOO and God's Reign. G'day, welcome back. It's ESL Challenger League Season 47, and we'll get right back into the swing of things in just a moment, but obviously, to touch on that first matchup, TYLOO versus God's Reign, pretty straightforward one for TYLOO. I mean, map 1, pretty comfortable, 13-2. God's Reign really never got it going, and TYLOO, even despite the fact that they were playing with a couple of subs there, Pilski just kind of looked like easily the better team.
Yeah, 100%. I kind of have my suspicions that, you know, God's Reign, we've seen them be a pretty sharp team at times, a team that can definitely do some damage individually. So I'm kind of wondering if it was maybe a bit of a server thing, which is what we often see between, you know, South Asian, Southeast Asian teams versus teams on the Hong Kong side of things, whether it be China or Mongolia. So have a look what second map we ended up on. Looks like it's going to be Nuke, which was left in the last 3 of the veto, I believe. That was taken out in the last 3 by God's Reign last time around. So we've seen the same kind of maps end up in the end of the veto, although left between Anubis and Nuke. TYLOO's opted to go towards Nuke instead.
Yeah, interesting. All right, well, we know that TYLOO do like to play toward Nuke a lot of the time, as I think especially as a decider map. I feel like I see it in a lot of their series as a third map in the pool, so not too surprised really to see it come through here today as well. See how God's Reign's going to fare on this one, and you know, hopefully your assumption is going to be correct that maybe they'll be able to have a bit of a better time on map 2. It's not potentially a great start though, depending on how this pistol goes, given that TYLOO is going to get to start on CT side.
Yeah, I think again, T-side pistol going to be very important for God's Reign, just given the fact that their T-sides do look a little lackluster from time to time. Waterfall smoke, P250 out here for Finn. He's going to flash over the outside yard, but Cammy once again looking sharp on the USP here. And that waterfall smoke has not waterfalled. It has just, I don't even know what to call that. And I won't really have to talk about it too much more because TYLOO's cleaning up this pistol pretty easily. And God's Reign, even if that's going to I dare say they probably would have got run down like this in similar fashion.
Yeah. Oh, and the knife comes out as well. That is unfortunate. Well, 1-0 is the score, and again, TYLOO starting on CT side. This is a real uphill battle now for God's Reign, who definitely did struggle in that first matchup as well. Auto shotty out for Mosey. Not auto shotty, rather, just the shotty. The Nova. Cammy's gonna... Oh, I thought he was gonna save, but... Alright, let's just see what Mosey's gonna be able to get up to, eh? That's what I wanna look at. Nothing really happening in toward lobby for that shotgun, so... Might not be seeing much from him, unfortunately. Jamyang will have spotted out the shadow there as well of Finn, so he'll be quite prepared for multiple members, and he's given that info over to Mercury. Or maybe Mercury spotted the shadow himself. Either way, God's Reign not really getting away with a whole lot in this round.
Where's
Cyclone going?
He's had somewhere to be. Unfortunate. That's that. Mercury's turned his monitor on this game. Cammy said, "Good job, mate." Stared into the soulless goggles that the CTs have. And look, we'll get into our first run round here. But already not being too awe-inspired by this T side here for God's Reign. They've already missed a pretty basic smoke in the pistol round. And as I said, the T side looked problematic in the past.
Still waiting to see this shotty get into the swing of things, but the wall of smoke's on outer. Looks good from God's Reign. Going to be naded open by Jamyang. He doesn't spot much there.
Yeah, multiple nades laid on in there. Knife out for R2B2. A third nade thrown inside. The wall of smoke's on the close side, and they're really trying to isolate Jamyang here. ZDR peeking up though from the secret side. So many CTs aggressing on outside, and you can look at God's Reign's positioning. They were a little traumatized, almost expecting TYLOO to kind of run at them, which is kind of what's been the story of most of this series, so I can't blame them. And it's ended up going okay for them. They've got that 1-for-1. Bomb's still left behind, which is really the biggest issue that I see here, but they're now starting to try to extend their control and emphasis on yard. That's where you run into Mercury, and you lose one and some change players. But the trade will at least deny info to the CT side on outside, which means there's still some potential here.
There is. It's a bit of an awkward setup now for TYLOO. They've just got players all over the place, really. These guys are kind of hoping that they don't get timed. I mean, again, like Cammy here could potentially get spotted. The barrel of his gun, I don't think was seen there by Fired Up. But he's worried about the ladder base, which you kind of have to be because there's no one watching outer, but ends up costing him his life, and plan will go down. That is a spammable wall. That's ZDR not going to go for it. Smoke's going to go quite deep into Annex, and ZDR's able to get in front of it. Mosey as well, waiting. Here we go. R2B2, 42 HP. This is very doable for him, and it will indeed go the way of the shotty. So another one for TYLOO, a little bit maybe closer than we would have anticipated, but job was done.
And got boomsticked. Unlucky. 2 alive. Bonus round 1 by TYLOO. But the bomb plant's going to allow at least God's Reign to put a buy together here. So can have another go. They at least got the bomb plant down there, and they were able to kind of trade out 1-for-1 across most of that round, pressuring towards outside. Again, they're going to have to get it done pretty bare bones of utility though.
Okay, Jamyang, again, he's not shying away from any of these fights on outer.
I mean, you can't blame them. They've kind of been doming. I don't think that smoke's gone where it was supposed to. Like it's not. That's not even a hard one to like line up, you know. There's the attempted cross on outside. There's a bit of a gap there, Jordan. Tiny bit. Couldn't quite make it across. Unfortunate.
Well,
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
This run. Like, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these size from God's Reign. Like, what was that round? That was just a mess. Missed util all over the place. Just kind of peeking out one by one, uninspired, not really taking control of anything meaningful. Like, you know, they're throwing the wall of smokes across the outside, or at least attempting to, and they're not even getting into secret. Like, and this, we were talking about in the pre-show as well, like, this team has been together for months, and they can't play a new T side.
Need a coach. Need someone to teach him. Barbie's going to be making a lot of noise, although I don't think Jam Young's heard that, and he very nearly goes down to it. Oh, but look at him go. He's fearless, really. You'd think he would just sit behind Unbreakable there, but he decides to go for the full-on swing, and it's worked out well for him. R2B2 eventually clips his toenails. Smoke will reveal Cyclone, and so he'll be a dead man attempting to get down the vent, which will ultimately end up being his coffin. Now it's Fired Up's turn, and I'm not sure that Mercury will be expecting someone behind him, but I'm also not sure that Fired Up was able to find the vent, so just ends up sitting himself in the corner instead, and Mosey's going to go have a little bit of a look to clear that one out, and he does so.
I mean, it's really not much to talk about in this game, to be honest, either of these maps. Like, God's Reign is not really giving us too much to talk about. Fired Up's got the AWP out, that's nice. I was seeing Rare Atom boot camping in Europe. That's pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were playing in one of the European tournaments. That's what I'm going to have a look at now. They got Risk, Charking, Ahang, Summer, somebody. They played against Nom, which is a Israeli mix, I think. Two Israelis, a couple Polish boys. There's a lobby aggression. Mosey, that's a nice shot from him. And they're able to beat them. So beat like a European mixed team. Struggled to beat them, but they were able to do it. They're actually playing in 2 European tournaments right now at the same time, some of those online ones.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I mean, look, they seem to be going about it the right way. It's funny because obviously we were quite critical of Rare Atom as a...
Bro, they missed outside smoke again.
Whatever,
Say
man.
one as well.
We were critical of that Rare Atom org with the roster changes that they made 6 months ago, but this seems like this project that they now are doing, it seems like a good sign, but Jam Young, he's going to finally get mollied out, and I almost thought he was going to get away with a kill or two there, but didn't. So God's Reign invested, I think that was 3 Molotovs, by the way, to kill Jam Young.
They use all their util just like trying to deny aggression on outside. Like they're playing like, you know, some kind of like battered, like, you know, bullied little man on the schoolyard. Can't even get out and make it across the secret or get any kind of meaningful map control. They're just kind of like cowering on the backside of outside and in the back of lobby and hoping that TYLOO doesn't swing.
It's going to be the Wolfpack approach this time from God's Reign, and with 20 seconds left, they're going to have to make it perfectly. Mosey will line a couple up, though, and he's not interested in allowing entry into their site. It's just, again, sort of petered out into not a whole lot. And so there's another one for TYLOO. It is 6-0 now.
Yeah, it's good to see Rare Atom getting some pretty good practice in Europe. And I mean, it's off the back as well of, look, playing with their, what was that, the old lineup over in the Showdown? Yeah, the old lineup over in the Showdown. So only 2 out of 5 of the core. And then they win the open qualifier for EWC and come second, beating TYLOO and taking a map off Mongols and even pushing them into overtime on the 3rd map. they very much could have almost qualified for EWC and beat Mongols there with their new lineup. So that's a very like promising result already. And then a boot camp into Europe, like Rare Atom. Finally, they're doing like what we wanted to see. They're picking up some of the tier 2 Chinese players and they're getting them to practice in the competitive regions of the world. I'm keen to see what they can do.
Okay, well, how about that one from TYLOO to start things off in round number 7. And it seems that round 7 might not last very long.
Bonds entered the server. Special agent, Cyclone F. That does sound like a special agent, if I've ever heard of one. I've not watched a James Bond movie for probably 10 years or more.
I don't think I have either. Just don't really find them appealing. I honestly don't watch that many movies. I just watch esports. And
Nerd.
sport. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I've been fiending lately? I've been
Anime.
I've been
I know.
rewatching Monk. You ever watched Monk?
No.
That's pretty good.
What is Monk?
It's about this OCD detective.
Oh. Yeah, never
It's
seen
just like feel good vibes. It's something that God's
Obsessive
Reign could probably
compulsive
need a bit of
detective.
after this, I reckon.
Alright, well.
I just
I'm not sure what that was meant to be.
I just don't understand. You just haven't even joined a custom game and thrown utility on the map. Like at the end of the day, as a professional player in the best team in your country, like I just can't. There's just no excuse for them. There's just not an excuse to have not be able to throw a piece of basic utility on the T side of a map.
That was a nice flash. Doesn't matter though, because EDR was playing anti-flash, and he's going to drop down for another one.
Bro, like this, and it's not even like a best of 3 format where like TYLOO picked a map and you were only able to ban one. Like we are literally down to the second last map in the pool, and this is your T side. You know?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I gotta say, like at some point you've just got to rush after 12 rounds in a row if you can't play the macro. You know, like you'll at least get a round or 2.
Might be goal for that, actually, but not a bad start either. 1-1. He gets himself a kill. Mercury, though, they're outside of hut. And a couple of the extra members of God's Reign didn't quite get the memo to push their way into A, so they'll be caught in secret. Finn round from out, and he's being watched by Jam Young. And so, again, it doesn't really amount to a whole lot.
I mean, it was a decent attempt on the half buy. I reckon just run it back off the last 3 gun rounds. To be honest, you're not winning the macro. Like, they are not playing the macro well at all. They don't really understand how to take outside. They can't really take any meaningful map control and push and pull the rotates. So, quite honestly, it's time to just boil it down to try contacting with numbers or throwing some exes with a couple of simple pieces of util at TYLOO and hoping you can get yourself into a 3-on-3 post play and things can get a bit funky.
Yeah, well, I mean, last round, they didn't really have guns, so could run it back and see what happens here. We've got attack timeout from God's Reign. What have they got cooking up in the lab? Cyclone's going to go for the AK. Plenty of util here.
From TYLOO. That's a good opener. That is a very wide swing from Jam Young. He's going on to lobby roof. He said, I've had enough of playing CT side. I'm bored of that. We've already completed
Oh.
the CT side. We will now play T side again. Thank you.
CDR is 10-0, and he is not afraid of anybody. Jamyoung
You
is
know,
on silo.
this reminds me very much of the TYLOO round we've seen a few years ago, Jordan. You remember the round that I'm talking about?
No. Wait, was it the one where Jamyoung was on T roof in like 20 seconds?
No. Dan King like ran through Hart with his knife out and went straight up the ladder onto the lobby roof.
Yeah,
In
I do
like
remember
4
it.
seconds.
I do remember it. I
He
thought it
didn't
was
even try to
Jamyoung.
shoot at anybody. He literally just ran through Hart onto the
Yeah.
lobby roof. They had a
Through
set
Hart.
strat.
Up ladder, onto roof.
The
10-0.
speed demon.
Yeah. Well. Here we go. Barbie's going to run through a Molotov. He's about 70% of his HP, but at least we're getting some presence on outer.
No, but they can't even, like, okay, here's the wall of smoke. Can he cross the secret? And
gonna go in front.
he's gone before the smokes, and he's made it across the secret. First time. It took 11 rounds, and they made it into secret. And he's dead.
It's painful, actually, you know. There was a moment there.
This is very painful to watch.
Mercury on the orb as well, so that's something.
There you go. I mean, same as Lin Vision. Can't find any AWPers. Let's just get whoever feels like it. How important is the AWP in CS2 anyway?
Very. Losing Mercury. Able to strike one apiece, and you can see already TYLOO, they're floating around looking for some frags. ZDR, he's going to be pretty ambitious about that, but it ends up working out okay because Jamyoung's there for the trade, and so that smoke will get one more, and RTB2 was spotted out as well. It is potential now, has to be said, for the 13-0.
And look, I was trying to make some excuses last map that, you know, might have been a server diff or some tech issues, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah. I don't really have many more excuses I can throw out there for Gold's Reign at this point. The one on outside. Molly. Oh, he's made it. He's in there.
Seems good.
This is very doable. This could be a round, Jordan.
Oh, knife him.
Knife.
No. What's he? Alright. He was really making sure. Alright, this has got to be the one God's Reign wins. You can't lose it from here. Cannot be losing it from here. Couple of quick taps.
He's literally playing. He's literally playing like a BR right now, and he's just turtling on the roof.
Alright, well that is actually a BR in a nutshell. The grenade's doing more damage than the guns.
We just watched a round of PUBG.
Yeah, actually, you're not wrong. Okay, let's see if ZDR can pull this one off. He doesn't actually have a lot of time. I mean, it might come down to a smoke defuse here. Pop flash out the door. Nobody looking for it. And that'll be that. It'll be the first half, at least one round for God's Reign. 11-1. Not looking good for God's Reign, but they are moving on to the CT side, so just got to pray that they can win this pistol and show us a little something tonight. Otherwise, it is going to be a particularly disappointing evening for God's Reign. It's only 3 rounds total for them over 2 maps so far.
Partly showing them how to do the pistol they didn't manage to do properly last time. It's nice of them.
Yeah, okay. Well, the
Seems to be
dualies are
going
still
a bit
alive.
better. That's true. There is 4 guns in the server. For God's Reign.
What is going
Oh.
on here?
Bet.
What is
Oh,
going on here,
okay.
TYLOO?
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Oh. I was
Just
getting
getting
excited.
a little bit. I think they're getting a little bit lackadaisical there, TYLOO. And Finn on for the clutch. Here we go. Big moment. Oh, he's got another one, but Jam Young. Before it gets exciting, we'll finish it off. And so 12
Only
to
4
1.
guns, but there was 5 Ps to find, Jordan. Unfortunate.
That's right. Unfortunate. Well, they're going to have to force buy it.
I actually reckon you take an eco here and hope that you win, and then you pick up the guns. Like, that's how you recover a 1 to 12 deficit. You gotta just min-max every dollar.
Or you just get to go to bed early.
That's true. That could be a dub all on its own. Scout out, fired up. He's getting the tags. Oh, yes, opening pick. That is free as it comes.
Actually, a pretty hefty outer setup here that TYLOO are going to walk right into. Don't tell me it's possible for God's Reign to still win this map. It might be. Oh, CDR. That's about the 3rd or 4th time I've seen him jump off something. This time, actually, to his death. And I mean, hey, that's kind of a classic TYLOO moment, isn't it? Just when the game's about to end, something like that happens.
And now they will force buy every round until they either win or lose. And I honestly respect that, you know?
Sure.
They're having some fun.
It's a mindset. Grind set.
DDR versus the Windows. I think the Windows won that one, to be honest. Now that up is rush is going nowhere fast. The anti-rush util was excellent.
Okay. CT side looking a little better from God's Reign.
That's what I'm
We
saying,
love it.
bro. Like, they actually can only play one side of this Counter-Strike.
Oh, how about that from Mosey, though? Looking for another one. Oh, he's going to get another
Put
one.
Put him in the team. Put him in the team.
ZDR's little toes are going to be spotted out. Now it's onto Mosey to try to grab the AK. Unable to do so. So the round is over. And another one for God's Reign.
Do we force again? Do we take a save?
Surely you don't force it. They've got
Well,
enough
no,
money to
you-
buy next round if they don't.
You usually wouldn't. And it doesn't seem like they will.
Huge.
It's the kind of analysis that we pay you for doing. We're going outdoor, I think. Try and get down the vents, perhaps. That could go very poorly. That is going to go very poorly.
Indeed. For Jam Young. Oh, and ZDR just playing with him.
No way, they've got him there. That's a good anti-eco. I wonder if they coin flipped CT side. They coin flip T side, or whether it's a seeding thing. Really? Okay.
They want to get it done, maybe. Let's lock it in. Who's even calling tonight for TYLOO? Is it Cammy?
Surely.
Has to be, right? What's in the big brain of Cammy? Only got a couple of smokes to work with. Do they get thrown on Outer to start things off.
Gabby might be a bit of a bugger. He definitely knew how to play Inferno, but the nuke is leaving a little bit more to be desired.
All right.
Probably spamming the 5E plays that go down to bloody Inferno Mirage every time. Take Molly into the lobby crunch.
God's Rain. Ooh. They're off to the races, aren't they? Jam Young's waiting for it.
Whoa. No one's getting in lobby.
No, but TYLOO is starting to look to explore Outer a little. Jam Young's already found at least one. Cyclone just getting a little bit too greedy into lobby. 2P2 hiding behind the smoke, and Harvey under quite a lot of pressure. That's a nice flash though from him, but comes through a little bit too late. Mercury committed to the fight already. Won it. R2B2 goes down as well in Squeak. And that is pretty much that. Finn is the last man standing for God's Reign. Really felt like it was more of a matter of time than anything else for TYLOO to finish this matchup off, and they're going to do so 13-4 here on Nuke. Smoke into Annex. We'll keep Finn at bay.
Yeah, not much to be done from him. Try to hop up into heaven. But looking like a pretty swift 2-0 from the TYLOO boys tonight. Which is, you know, the standard of this team, really. ZBR cleans that one up. And look, pretty good day at the office for TYLOO. They'll undoubtedly be heading into ECL playoffs. And to be honest with you, Jordan, if they're playing like